Hey, Will Snipesilla here. It is Friday, June 23rd, 2023. We're looking at the ES. Here's our candle for today. We started to move towards the daily fair value gap. So this was my draw on liquidity today. I ended up taking a trade right between the 1050 and 1110 macro. Basically wrote it down, failed to take out the sell side from 930, and then it basically reversed on me. We came up, we took out buy side, and then rejected lower. I wasn't able to find an entry here. It was outside of my my macro time, so I didn't take the entry on this breaker here at 220, but this was basically the move that I was looking for on this trade. That was supposed to give me 10 handles. I think I had about 8 with open profit and then stopped out for a small loss. I was convinced that my draw was correct and that we were heading down there. It was a high resistance liquidity run today, so let me go down into the 1 minute. Let's blow this up. So here's where I was looking. We had this kind of chop back and forth. We came up, we took out buy stops, and we basically filled in this fair value gap here, and then we had a higher target up here, but I was anticipating us trading down into this daily fair value gap and then pulling back into the range. So that was my thought on this trade here. And if we look at the low to high, we did come up into premium, and my entry was, we came up and basically we traded up into premium, which was all I was looking for. I didn't really care how high we went up. I just wanted to trade up into premium and then reject lower. So let me take this off. So I have the breaker outlined here. And so you can see we had like a break in structure. This fair value gap was left open on the entry, so this is what I was looking at. Once we had the second leg down here, I basically placed my order at consequent encroachment of this 1 minute fair value gap. So breaker, fair value gap. I really like this trade. I think I got a little bit too greedy and a little bit overconfident that the draw was going to get hit on this run. I'm seriously considering doing micros so I can take partials. I didn't want to take a partial because I would have just ended the trade there. So, which it's not a terrible thing, but I would have definitely taken partials here and right at the opening range gap, because we basically hit this opening range gap, the bottom of this, and then we kind of rejected lower. So one of the things I was looking at in here is, so we did have this 5 minute fair value gap. Let me flip to the 5 minute real quick. I don't know why it does that. Okay. So 5 minute, here's our displacement. So we kind of came up, we hit this last up close candle, and we have our displacement here, our shift in structure. This is the breaker on the 5 minute, which it really would have been these candles, but it kind of looks a little bit different on the 5 minute. But I like how the bodies of these candles stayed at consequent encroachment of this 5 minute fair value gap. So I was kind of noting that during the trade, and this was the low-hanging fruit. I've had like 2 trades this week that really close to being a big week, but overall I'm not really mad about this trade. I should have just taken the low-hanging fruit, swing low here, but what are you going to do? So hopefully I'll just learn from this. Like I said, I'm seriously considering doing partials so that I can at least take some profit. And then I did end up moving my stop up. I think my stop was above this, and then I moved it down to this swing high. And basically if it took this out, we were going to continue up higher. So, and that's what we did. We took out this. But this was all really choppy. So it was kind of like this wasn't a quick trade by any means. I got in at 11:02 within that macro window, and it was like a 40-minute trade. So definitely longer than most of them. Looking at this, so I kind of noted we came up and we tapped the top of this fair value gap. So I was convinced that we were gonna hit my target of 43.84, which I wasn't. I was targeting the daily fair value gap, but I was just gonna take this swing low from the morning, and it after it reversed, went up, and basically took out the 730 high. It basically ran, and there was a chance to get in here, but this was outside of my macro time that I was looking at, so I didn't really take the trade. I was kind of eyeing it, and this just moved and went to my ultimate target that I was looking for from the morning. And once it had this huge move from 2 to 3, I wasn't interested in the last hour of trading, so I opted out and just going to take the loss for the day. But let's go into the actual trade review. All right, so here we are. It's we're in the 10:50 to 11:10 macro time, and just kind of flipping over to the chart, noting my breaker there, the run on stops, noting the fair value gap within the breaker, which I really like that signature. I'm just kind of measuring. We came up into premium. I have my order set, and we're initially risking looks like 187, and then I end up getting out of this trade with a loss of like $67. So we get the initial tag in, and I'm just watching. I'm noting that we tapped the top of that breaker, and on the bottom left you can see the 5-minute chart that I was looking at. Look at both of those wicks of those like 2 candles. They were just basically stopped at the consequent encroachment. I noted that 5-minute fair value gap, noted another fair value gap where we tapped into the consequent encroachment and then rejected lower. So this is the high resistance liquidity run that I was talking about. Look at this kind of back and forth action here. So I have the mean threshold of this wick here, and got some nice movement lower. You can see where we have about 200 profit right now. This is definitely the 5 handles here. If I wanted to close this out, that would have been ideal, just to have another one for the day. So you can see we're at like 51, and then it basically reverses from here. I was 100% expecting it to tap down into the daily fair value gap, but I got swerved on. So, and I'll let this kind of play out. You can see I moved my stop down to the that swing high within that breaker, and I was willing to just let this go, whether it was going to tag me out or go to my profit target. Like I said, I'm seriously considering doing just 5 micros so I can peel off contracts, but here we are, we're tagged out, and we'll go into the account review. All right, here we are, Topstep Dashboard, 576. I'll make this quick, trying to get out of here for the weekend. Minus 67.08 today. Here's the one trade. Here are the 3 trades for the week. So a loss, a win for 257, then another loss for 67.08. So overall, I think for the week, I think we're up like 123, which I'm not really concerned about that. I think it's a good first week back. Here's the entry for today. So entered at 11:02, ES short, AM session, 1 contract, minus 67.08. We took buy stops, had a breaker, displacement, market structure shift, 1050 to 1110 macro on the 1 minute. I said this is a B setup, 41 minute trade, 1.25 handle drawdown. And let's go to the original screenshot today, which is this. You can see I was, targeting, this was my draw on liquidity. We end up hitting this between the 2 and 3 hour, or the 2 and 3 p.m. So right idea, just wrong time, I guess. And like I said, I'm seriously considering micros, so I could peel off most of my position here at the take profit 1, low hanging fruit, and then see if we can take off another profit here, and then eventually at that daily fair value gap, which was my target. So yeah, I hope you guys find this helpful on how I try to analyze this. And again, today was just the PMI at 9:45. But yeah, hope you guys all have a great weekend, and we'll check back in next time we take a trade next week.